Hao, my name is Garrick, welcome back to Taiwan, Lao Wai. And welcome to the sort of official start of our third day in Keelung. It's technically our second video on the third day because we did one super early at the fish market, which you should check out because that was really fun. But this is our first video after waking up on our third day of Keelung. This is going to be our last full day. We're heading back home tomorrow morning, so we better make the most of it. Yesterday we did a lot of exploration on the southeast side of Keelung Harbor, so today we're going to go to the other end and check out the northwest. It's going to be another pretty mountain-filled day from what I've seen up there and from what I've planned, so hopefully my legs will still hold out. First things first though, I need to get eating because I am starving. So we're gonna head back to the Renai Day Market and we're gonna see what other restaurants they have on that second floor of theirs. See you there. Man, does this market ever shut down? It's open in the night, it's open past midnight, and now it's open in the morning as well. Jeez. I wonder if like some stalls are only open at certain times of day. I would have to do way more extensive research, and sadly we do not have the time for that. Alright, so from what it appears, that section of the market with all the numbered stalls, that is open pretty much 24/7. Though obviously not all the stalls are open at all times. But the rest of the Miaoko night market, you know, the more open air stuff, that is only at night. So that's good to know. Man, Keelung has one of the best food cultures I've seen in Taiwan so far. It's just, there's so much. Alright, we found ourselves a counter. We're starting off with some chawanmushi, which if you don't know is a hot egg custard, usually with some sort of bits of fish or meat at the bottom. Best eaten hot, so let's not wait. It's quite nice. It's very silken and warm and homey. It's like sort of the unctuousness of a beef broth, but with eggs, so it's pretty light as well. Ooh, I just dug to the second layer, and it looks like we got some clams down here. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not used to pieces this big being at the bottom of a chawanmushi layer, but I guess it does happen. Down the hatch. I need to work on my clam slurping skills. I'm out of practice. This other chunk looks like a big bit of salmon or some other similar fish. Definitely salmon. I have had enough like roasted or oven-baked salmons at home to know salmon, and that is some good salmon. And of course would not be chawanmushi without a bit of spiral fish cake. Fun fact, this is called Naruto. So if you ever watch the anime Naruto, that's what he's named after because of the spiral pattern. Good first course with some good chawanmushi. I'm ready for the rest now. Alright lads, here's the big one. We got ourselves an unagi don. This is a whole slab of fresh grilled eel on rice. I have never seen a piece of eel this big before, oh my god. But I've always loved this Asian style of barbecued eel with the sticky sweet sauce on top. So I saw this on the menu, and however expensive it was, I had to give it a shot. Down the hatch, lads. Man, that's good. I'd say eel is like among the meatier seafoods you can eat. Its texture, its consistency, and even its taste are a bit more in the poultry realm than the fish realm, I would say. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's definitely got more more body and more stability to it than your typical fish flesh. Ooh, there are some tiny little pin bones still in here. That makes sense, it's like a whole slab of veal. It must be really hard to devein the whole thing, especially with bones that small. But that is so good. The eel is delicious, you know, the barbecue sauce on top is as flavorful as always. Assuming you don't mind a couple prickly pin bones here and there, this really is a must-have at least once in your life. Maybe it's easier to get around the bones with chopsticks. I'll give that a shot. And our last course has arrived. We got ourselves some nigiri sushi. Definitely some salmon in there, guessing that's tuna, maybe a little bit of some kind of whitefish. I don't know, I don't know my sushi raw fish on site well enough to determine exactly what we got here, but I'm sure it'll be delicious. Not taking the risk of these falling apart again, we're just gonna go right in. Once again, that is the good stuff. It's interesting. I think these nigiri have less wasabi on them than the ones from yesterday's sushi place, so it's a lot more mild. Either that or the wasabi itself is just more mild, but I like it. It lets the fish come through a little better. I would say the fish is maybe not quite as unctuous as the last place, but that's really a nitpicky complaint. It's still fantastic. I think this is a chutoro. It's like the medium fatty tuna. Not as silken smooth as super fatty otoro, but still quite good. Alright, this is a lot of food, but I am gonna get it all down, so I will see you when I'm finished. My god, I am stuffed. I mean, the goal of having such a big lunch was to fill me up so I don't need to eat again for a while, and, you know, I guess mission accomplished. Also, oh my god, they made turtles out of these snacks, what the heck. It is just about Children's Day in Taiwan, so, I don't know, are turtles part of Children's Day celebration? I'll have to look that up. Now keep in mind, that was not a cheap lunch. The unagi don alone was 400 NTD. That plus the nigiri platter for 170 and the chawamushi for 60. That was a 630 NTD lunch. Eel is always among the most expensive stuff you can buy in Taiwan. It's definitely a bit of a luxury ingredient. But the sushi itself, perfectly affordable. Well worth a stop. If you want that specific counter I was at, it's second floor of the Renai open air market. It's in the back, so like if you go up the escalator and just go straight to the back from there, it's somewhere in that vicinity. Not sure how to give instructions more clearly than that, sadly. But really, any of the restaurants in there are going to be excellent, whether they're sushi or noodles or anything else, so you are a bit spoiled for choice. Alright, so we're gonna make a quick pit stop before we head to our next place, because I need to pee. Thankfully, it seems like there's a pretty sizable temple nearby, and temples usually have bathrooms, so we can sightsee and take care of business at the same time. Sounds like a win to me! Also, welcome back to Fish Market Street in the early morning. It's got a very different vibe. With this kind of sky, doesn't it? Okay, so this is Ching-An Temple. We're sort of going in the side path. The main entrance is on that road over there. But yeah, this is sort of smack dab in the middle of the center of Keelung City, that sort of main central part near the train station. As always, it's very beautiful with all the sculptures and lights and carvings, and of course, we're gonna keep things quiet because there are people actually praying here. Okay, so a lady out front sort of had me buy a little offering to give the temple. That's new. It looks like what you're supposed to do is leave this at one of the shrines throughout the temple and then pray to it. So that's what we're gonna do. God, I don't think I've ever been in a temple that lets you get this close to the roof, to the ceiling. It's a very interesting experience. fascinated me about churches and temples and places of worship like this is how much art they put on the ceiling and sort of all around. Like, there are so many little details that most people will never see, maybe won't even notice, but every corner is filled, so no matter where you look, you are seeing something beautiful. I remember seeing these clackers back in my vacation in Tainan. I forget what they do or what they represent, so I would probably have to rewatch that video to remind myself what they mean. Alright gamers, we are all bathroomed out, we've seen a beautiful temple, it is time to get moving for realsies. So, I think I mentioned before, but the north part of Keelung Harbor, as opposed to the south, gets mountainy a lot faster, and, stays sort of rural for a lot wider. And the first stop on that journey is a place that I think I might have shown you if you've been keeping up with these videos. You see, built into the mountains itself, there is a Keelung sign that is, sort of based on the style of the Hollywood sign in California, with big letters built right into the mountainside. And from what I've seen, you are allowed to go right on up next to it. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so you know how I just said I had that big lunch so I wouldn't eat anymore and it would keep me filled up? I amuse myself sometimes. It's alright, we just got like one cream-filled crepe for 25 NTD. It's an aperitif, it's not a meal. Doesn't count. Does not count. God, that's good. It has like sort of a sweetened condensed milk flavor. I wonder if that's part of the filling. Now, I've said before, I'll say again, you would not expect an Asian country to do breakfast pastries like pancakes and waffles and all that stuff. You would not expect them to do that well. But they do in Taiwan. It's very impressive. Man, you always know if you see a long line for a place, it's gonna be good. Sadly, I am actually too full to go for whatever those scallion pancake-looking things were. Maybe if they're still open when I come back, we will see. Alright, so we have made our way back to the train station that brought us into Keelung in the first place. When we went to our hotel, we went in that direction to the southeast. This time, we're gonna see if we can go that direction to the northwest. I should probably, make my last video just exploring the train station as I wait for the train to take me back. I feel like that would be a really fun thing to do because that looks like quite the big train station, I gotta say. Alright, this is interesting. So, the southeast part of Keelung, where I've been spending all of my time so far, there's a decent chunk of flatland there, but the second I go to the other side of the train station, it immediately gets into, mountain residential territory. I guess I was not mistaken, this is going to be a very mountainous day. On the bright side, they do have plenty of stairs, so you don't have to be walking up super steep paths. So that's nice. garage right now, but there is the Keelung Hollywood sign. God, look at this thing. We're right up next to it. And this is the view from all the way up. The whole city sprawled before me. Well, maybe not the whole city, but a decent chunk of the city, at least. Oh my god, I need to sit down. Man, I always forget how hard it is to hike that much uphill all at once. Like, if you've seen the anime Made in Abyss, there's a magical concept there where trying to hike up a big hole curses you and makes you, like, experience nausea and headaches, vomiting, hallucinations, eventually, transforming you into something not human. And it seems fantastical, but every time I try, like, climbing uphill, it's like, oh no, that's just what climbing uphill is like. That joke is probably only funny to people who actually watch that show, but if you know, you know. Welcome to Keelung, everybody. That's gonna be the end of this video. We're still gonna go deeper into the mountains and see more sights, but first, I gotta kick my feet up for a bit. Whew. As always, thank you for joining me at Taiwan Lao Wai. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, smash the bell, share with your friends, all that good stuff. And as always, I will see you next time. 再见. Bye-bye!